next we have an executive order relating to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act.
It sounds good on paper, but in practicality, it's a disaster.
Yeah, it's a disaster for American corporations that are looking to bribe foreign governments and foreign officials. And I mean, Trump wouldn't know anything about that, would he? Now, President Donald Trump is correct that the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act does sound like a pretty good guardrail to have, and it looks pretty bad when you pause any enforcement of it. But that's exactly what Trump has decided to do by signing an executive order on Monday. Now, let's hear him explain why he wants to temporarily stop enforcing the act.
It means that if an American goes over to a foreign country and starts doing business over there legally, legitimately, or otherwise, it's almost a guaranteed investigation, indictment, and nobody wants to do business with the Americans because of it. Nobody wants to do business. They say, look, we can deal with China, they can do whatever they want. We can deal with Russia, we can deal with anybody, and we have a normal life. You deal with America, the FBI gets over there. They don't investigate death and murders on the street in New York and Los Angeles. They go over and investigate a business guy trying to do business. So it made it very, very hard. So we'll sign this, and it takes courage to sign it because you only get bad publicity when you sign it. It sounds so nice, the title is so lovely, but it's an absolutely horror show for America. So we're signing it because that's what we have to do to make it good.
Now, notably, US government officials are also barred from taking bribes from foreign agents or foreign governments. In fact, we have a Democratic senator who's currently spending some time in prison. That's Senator Bob Menendez for taking bribes from foreign nationals. But look, you just heard Donald Trump spin on this. Let's actually talk about what the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act actually does and how it actually protects from the type of corruption that we should be against. Now, the FCPA became law back in 1977, barring all Americans and certain foreign issuers of securities from paying bribes to foreign officials. The law was amended in 1998 to apply to foreign firms and people who caused such bribes to take place within the United States. Now, violators of the FCPA do face a maximum possible criminal sentence of 15 years in prison and a maximum fine of $250,000 or 3 times the monetary equivalent of the thing of value demanded by a foreign official. The Department of Justice back in 2024 announced enforcement actions in 24 cases related to alleged violations of the FCPA. There were 17 such enforcement actions announced the year prior in 2023. Cenk.
Yeah, so the reason why it sounds like a disaster is because it is a disaster. This is about the 18th thing in a row that Trump has done that is pro-corruption. I mean, Eric Adams' pardon was just like no other reason than, oh, you took a bribe too? Great, I'm in, yep. I love it, you're a Democrat, I don't care. You agree with me, don't agree with me, don't care. You pro-corruption, I love it. So he's pardoned anyone and everyone who's committed any act of corruption. Rod Blagojevich, for no reason, a former Democratic governor of Illinois, totally corrupt. So this is another pro-corruption one. And this one has some history behind it. This is one of the things that Sheldon Adelson demanded back when he was alive. Now his widow, Miriam Adelson, carries on his torch of corruption, bravely going forward. Willing to be unpopular? Well, not really, because she also got the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her corruption. That's what Trump gave her in the first term. As I've told you many times, that family has given Trump $337 million in campaign contributions. So Sheldon was up on this charges based on this act because now I forget, I wrote it in my book, Justice Coming, you see the exact number, but I think he did a bribe of around $60 million. And if the thing that he must have gotten must have been so valuable that he gave a bribe of 60 million, right? And you're supposed to triple it, as you saw in the graphic that Anna just read you. So that would have been 180 million at a bare minimum. Trump let him go with a $9 million fine. Just like a slap on the wrist. He could have gone to jail for that. He should have gone to jail for that, and he didn't. So now who's doing business in other countries that might benefit from a little bit of corruption? Oh, right, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Okay, let alone every other businessman he knows, let alone maybe one day himself, let alone the rest of his family. No, this is unmitigated terrible.
Yes. Now, this isn't a complete reversal of the act. The FCPA will be paused for 180 days, after which Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, will revise enforcement guidelines for the act. We'll see what those revisions will look like. But prior to Donald Trump signing the executive order, she basically said that enforcement actions would prioritize international cartels and criminal organizations as opposed to corporations. We got to look out for the corporations, Cenk. The poor corporations. I mean, they just can't get anything done, with these difficult regulations and laws. I mean, how the hell would they make any money or turn a profit if it weren't for the weakening of the enforcement mechanism when it comes to foreign corruption?
Yeah,
so,
well,
there you have it.
And you know what's really populist? Supporting corporate corruption. I mean, as populist as it gets. The very opposite of populism. So yeah, we're here to tell you what reality is. Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a Young Turk.